Hello, one and all. Welcome back to another edition of the Average Guy's Guide to Life podcast. You know who I am. You know what this is. You lovely human being on the other side of this video, who I can't see, but you can see me. How are you? Doing well, I hope. Of course you are. You're alive. Things are looking up. Even when they aren't, pretend that they are. And remember, if you like what I do here, share, comment, subscribe, and you will be notified. Hit the bell if that's still a thing, and you'll be notified to whenever I upload one of these beautiful things to tickle your eardrums with some of my insane stories and insightful takes. Or maybe you think I'm an idiot and you hate the sound of my voice and you hate listen to me. So even if you hate listen, subscribe. Call me an asshole. Say that I don't know shit about shit, which I don't. I don't know anything, but I'm not gonna stop talking. It's what I do. So subscribe. I was reminded of something today, and it's going to be controversial and it's going to be divisive. I'm not sure I care. As a matter of fact, I don't care. It's going to be divisive. But I think there will be some people out there that understand where I'm coming from. And I was reminded about this by accident, totally by accident, texting someone. And I was like, holy shit, these things actually did happen. And I don't miss them. I don't miss them at all. I don't know if I've said this before, but for those of you who aren't aware, I am a natural introvert, okay? I make music, yes, I have performed. I am an amateur comedian and I have performed. I'm comfortable on stage, but not in large crowds when it comes to certain things. So I am a natural introvert, but I have extrovert tendencies and I can do some extroverted shit if need be. You know, I'm very comfortable with a mic in front of me or sharing some information, or even with a small circle of people. We're just talking or some shit, or even like a battle rap scenario where people are gathered around in a circle taking turns insulting each other's moms. I'm good with that. Strangely enough. So, but naturally, I am an introvert. And I got to thinking, in this quarantine, or this lockdown, right? This global pandemic that we're all experiencing. And of course, things are open, but not everything. Not large venues for the most part. And it got me to thinking, what are the things that you don't miss that you can't do? Like, I know there's things that people do miss, like going to live sporting events, or people that are comedians, they can't go perform on stage, you know. But what don't you miss? Like, maybe you don't like any of that shit. Like me personally, I never ever liked going bar hopping or going to the club. I never liked it. How did I end up there if I didn't like it? Well, because I was forced to go. I was roped along to these experiences. It was never by my own free will. Not saying that I have people that will do that to me now, because I don't. But if I did, I don't miss having to tell them no. Like I don't want to go, or feeling the peer pressure to have to go. Because it's not my scene. It's really not. In all actuality, it's a fabricated event. I never understood why people like going bar hopping or to the club. Like, it's so made up. It's such a made up weird bubble. You gather some friends together. You get dressed really nice in things that you would probably never wear again, or you only bought for this one occasion. And you go to hang out with some other people who are dressed in these fancy outfits that they probably will never wear again. They're looking like totally different people than they look like in their real outside life. And you go to jump around in large crowds listening to super loud music where you can't even hear each other talk. But you're supposed to talk. You're supposed to socialize. But you're not talking. You're screaming at each other. And it's two different perspectives, right? So if you're a woman and you want to go to these things, you literally just want to go out with your girlfriends, have a good time, maybe get a little fucked up, get some free drinks, and maybe you really don't intend on meeting a guy at all. You're just going out with the girlfriends. Maybe you want to put on a fancy dress and play dress up and go out and have people stare at you with all googly eyes. You like all the attention. Look at me. Look at me. Look at this fucking dress I bought, bitch. Look at how good my ass looks in these fucking pants. God damn it. But don't talk to me though. Like don't talk to me. Just look. And I'm going to smile and say, you saw that guy looking at me? But guys, on the other hand, that is their sole intention. There is no other intention. I've conducted experiments to prove this. I have gone out on these days where I would be forced to go out. I've gone out and actually conducted surveys. I would ask guys, why are you here? 99% of them, an overwhelming percentage of these guys would say they're there to meet girls. And I would ask the girls, why are you here? They would say to get fucked up. So it's like, it's a made up event. I don't know. I never liked it. It's like a conflict of interest on both sides. And to those guys that are there to meet the girls, they're only going to meet the ones who detach from their friend circle, and it's kind of fucked up. They're already kind of drunk. They're not going to go with you on their own free will, you jackass. Like, they're not here for you. They're here for you to look at them, but not talk to them. Dumbass, stay where you are. Stay where you are over there, or just stay your ass at home. I never got it. Never got it, So most of the time, I didn't really talk to people. So that's one thing that this pandemic is like a gift. I don't have to, even though I wouldn't do it on my own free will anyway. I don't have any friends, so no one's forcing me to go to the club anymore. But even if they did, I'm glad, so glad that it doesn't exist right now. That fake cesspool of human interaction is gone. Good riddance. Stay where the fuck you are. But I will say, the few dozen times that I was forced to go to these places and interact with people outside of me taking surveys, I did have some memorable experiences. Some shit did happen. Not what you're thinking. It wasn't no steamy action. I hooked up with a hot girl or nothing like that. Most of the time, like, I would say 80% of my experiences were bad. They were fucking soul-crushing, ego-defeating experiences where I'm interacting with people and they really don't want to talk to me. A combination of you being somewhere that you don't want to be, but you're trying and you're putting on a happy face, and people are like, why are you fucking here? It's like, I'm trying to be here. So most of the experiences just ended with me drunkenly stumbling to the train station, going home, eating some fucking super unhealthy food at 3 o'clock in the morning, being too drunk to even masturbate. After I grease covered in fucking Italian beef grease all over my face and fingers. And I'm too drunk to even fucking masturbate myself to bed. Not too sad. Too drunk. And the only thing that I could take away from the evening is how good that fucking sandwich was. Is an Italian beef a sandwich, or is that like a sub? Would that qualify as a sub or a sandwich? Comment down below. Oh, also comment, what are the things that you don't miss? Like, what don't you miss since the lockdown? Beaches. Some people like beaches. I don't like beaches. I'm not a big beach guy. Don't like it. I think the sand is irritating. I guess I'm kind of like, what the fuck is that guy's name? The guy from Star Wars. He ended up being Darth Vader. He had this whole horribly acted speech about how sand is coarse and it gets everywhere. He just doesn't like it. I get Anakin. That's his fucking name. Anakin Skywalker. Me and him are similar in that way. So does that make me Darth Vader? Am I on the dark side because I don't like sand? Anyway, so I wanted to share some of those very rare, memorable experiences with you here today. And I wanted to, the first one, right? So I wanted to start off by telling you the first one, which is very brief, but it gives you the direction that I'm going to be taking this. So we go out on my birthday, me and my friends, we gathered together, which is very rare. It was all of us. We were all gathered together for this event, the event of going to these fake human interaction bubbles. And before we get started, we all gather around and we're about to go into the 7-Eleven. And there's this bum who stands outside the 7-Eleven. Yeah, we have homeless people. There's this homeless guy, and he's not even pandering for money. Like, he's way beyond that. He is a seasoned homeless person. He's not asking for fucking money. He's cutting right to the chase. He's like, can you go in there and buy me something to drink? I don't care what it is, anything. And he's asking that to everyone that enters the store. And there was this white guy who was going in there to get a fucking 6-pack of Miller, I believe, or wherever the fuck. And he was like, I got you. I was like, oh, is he for real? Is he actually going to buy this homeless guy a drink? And he did. I went in there to, I believe I was getting a Red Bull. I wasn't getting a drink from there, I don't believe. No, the homeless guy. The homeless guy was asking for something. I think he was like a beer. He wanted a beer, right? And the white guy, he came back with a can of Four Loko, and he handed it to the homeless guy. Mind you, this person has no choice. They're living outside. Their roof is the sky. And he's like, Four Loko? I don't drink no motherfucking Four Loko. Like, what? You're actually going to turn down this free alcoholic beverage, sir? I was like, okay, I'll take it. He was like, here. So I took Four Loko from a homeless man, and I drank it. Those are the type of experiences that I've had. Very weird and random, and that's tame. That's very tame. I guess the high bar, if that's like the low on a scale from 1 to 10, that would be like a 3 of an experience, because it was very brief yet very random. The highest would be when I got into a WWE style wrestling match while on the train with a lesbian that I deemed CM cunt. I am not making this up. This was before YouTube videos surfaced of them actually holding events of people wrestling on trains. My friend happened to show me that, like, maybe several months after this event happened. He was like, look, they stole your idea. I was like, what the fuck? It's like, they steal ideas from my life. But it wasn't even an idea of mine. It was just random drunkenness. Like, I was so fucked up and irritated because it was another one of those evenings. I didn't want to be there. So I'm just on the train. And I did this often. I was a bad person. And I'm not innocent in any of this. But I was so fucked up. Anyone that got on that train, this was maybe 2 o'clock in the morning. Anyone that got on that train, I was talking about them. I was talking about their lives. And I would just make it up. Some guy was just minding his business in the back of the train. And I said that he looked like Carl Winslow. And he probably beats his wife and abandoned his children. I have no reason to think this about this person. I was just talking about him. And I was just talking about everybody. And I was like, ain't nobody going to do anything about it. And no one did. No one did. And a lot of people were just laughing at me poking fun at other people. And then we got to this one stop, and this obvious butch lesbian got on the train. And I have nothing against lesbians or anything like that. By all means, do your thing. Do what you got to do. Lick the rug. Lick the rug. Just lick all the rugs. So, not my thing, but that's what you're for. The first thing out of my mouth was, look at this bitch. CM cunt. Now, if you don't know who, you have to know who CM Punk is to get the joke. Because CM Punk is a professional wrestler who is from Chicago. And the CM was fabled to mean Chicago made. He later came out and said it means chick magnet. But for years, people were convinced that the CM in his wrestling name was Chicago made Punk. So I called her Chicago made cunt. Appropriate. And she also looked like she would be a wrestling fan. You know, really edgy looking, dyed hair, piercing, short haircut, tattoos. And she said, "What you say?" I was like, "You heard me, CM cunt." And then she rushed me and started attacking me out of nowhere. Like, what if I was really abusive? Like, what if I was really violent? You know, you don't, like, she just assumed that that was an invitation to begin a fake wrestling match with me on a train. Who does this? Who does these things? So she begins attacking me and hitting me with these fake punches. And at the moment, I'm thinking, okay, do I go along with this or do I actually hurt this person? Like, I don't want to hurt them. That would be bad. Not only because it's bad to hurt people, but it's definitely doubly bad to hurt women. But do I also want to engage in this WWE style wrestling match on the train? But I'm also drunk. So none of this is processing as quickly and as thoroughly as it should be. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to let her beat me up. And I'm going to talk the most shit. I was talking the most shit. And she was just abusing me WWE style. Throwing me from one fucking part of the train to the other. Kicking me when I was down. Hitting me in the head. Clubbing me in the back. And everyone on the train is getting a fucking kick out of this. So much so to when it was over and we were at the end of the line. Some guy, I believe he said he was from Texas, and I think he had on like, you can't make this shit up. This guy from Texas in Chicago was wearing a fucking cowboy hat, and he came up to me and my group of friends. He was like, "I really enjoyed the production you all put on tonight. I think you got a future here. You know, give me a call. I think you should be making more of these." What? Like, he thought it was a thing. That's just some drunk shit that happened. Like, I didn't know this person. I did not know this lesbian. I didn't know them. It just happened. They just fake beat me up for about fucking 20 minutes on a train. But yeah, those are one of the moments I'm talking about. Like, when I was actually out in the venues, in these fake interaction bubbles, nothing memorable happened there. I could barely hear myself think when I was in there. And you're definitely not talking to anybody. You're not talking to anybody. And I don't believe at getting inches away from someone's face and yelling at them. "Hey, what's your name? Where are you from? I like your dress." Like, what the fuck? No, I'm not doing that. If you want to talk, meet me outside so we can talk at a normal fucking voice, at a normal volume, and we can actually process what each other's saying. I mean, we can still get fucked up too. You know, take a few shots to the face, meet me outside. Let's talk there. Well, meet me in the bathroom. Let's talk there. So that would be the high end of the spectrum of random drunk experiences I've had. Out spelunking. I don't even know if that fits. But another one would be, I guess when we were performing, we would perform hip hop in different parts of the city, and my friend's wife at the time was trying to hook me up with her friend. And this time we met like a random night out. We were gonna go bar hopping again, And her friend really didn't seem that into me at all. Like, it went horrible. And I was being nice, and I thought I was dressed nice. It was maybe just my face. Like, my face is all fucked up. I can't fix that. I'm guessing she just didn't like my face or my build or whatever. So I was just like, I'm going to just take this as an L. It's an L here and move on, you know. I didn't have any gripes. I mean, I was kind of discouraged, but, you know, life goes on. Now, literally, the next weekend, we had a show. And my friend's wife said that she was going to invite the friend that she tried to hook me up with. And if that was okay, I'm like, that's fine. Like, I don't have anything against this person. So, they show up, and I'm all in my rap gear, like, drenched in black from head to toe, looking like I'm about to destroy a stage, which we ended up doing. We killed that night. But the dynamic completely shifted. Completely shifted. I mean, it might have been that she was also kind of fucked up, but she was really into me that night. And I found it funny. Like, who are you? And what the fuck happened the previous day? So I didn't pay no mind to it, and I was also kind of turned off by the idea at the time, and she was like really fucked up. So my idea was just get this person home, you know. And my friends are such scumbags. This one friend in particular is such a fucking scumbag. We're all sharing an apartment at the time. This dirty motherfucker say, yo, Chris, you can have my bedroom if you need it. You know what I mean? I'm like, what? You need to get me too, bruh. Like, what are you talking about? I don't do that. Like, I want a person to be conscious if they're going to be receiving my dicking. Because my dicking is memorable, all right? Like, it's going to stick with you. It really is. And it might be a problem because I might not like you. But then you're hooked and you're going to want more. And I'm not taking advantage of a person that can barely speak. Like, they threw up in the cab on the way home. Like, no, I'm fine. Like, I'm just gonna let her sleep it out. I had to carry her upstairs. She was so fucked up. So you know who you are, you scumbag. Don't do that. Children, do not take it. Do not Cosby people. Do not take advantage of people who they're not conscious. Unless you have a written contract, like if you agreed beforehand and you have a signature on a document saying that we agree for sexual intercourse, drunk or not, she being drunk or you being drunk, you gotta have that contract. If you don't do it. Keep your Jimmy locked up. Keep it in your pants, fellas. So yeah, that shit happened. Another thing that happened, and I'm gonna close on this one. So one night we were out in the area that we often visited, and my friend and his then wife was having a disagreement, and they would often do that. They would often have disagreements, and they would just separate and go to different places. She'd go to one bar down here, and he'd go to another bar, and we'd just meet up later or whatever. And she was walking off, but I'm guessing he wasn't done with the conversation. So he decides that he was going to follow her down the street. Now, I know him. He doesn't know how to filter his words when he's angry. He just says shit to anyone, to anywhere. He says things to anywhere. He says things to anywhere. He says things to Thailand. So he's just walking down the street very quickly, trying to catch up with her. Now, one guy pulls over his car and tries to talk to his wife, who's about 50 yards ahead of us across the street on the other side. And he sees this. So now he begins a light jog. And he's like, hey, that's my fucking wife, man. That's my fucking wife. And she didn't stop. So credit to her, she didn't stop and try and piss him off by actually turning around and giving them attention. She just kept walking. But that didn't matter to him at this point. He's like, that's my fucking wife. And then the guy's response was classic. Nigga, I don't give a fuck. And that only made him more mad. So I'm seeing this, and my friend, he's a little guy. He's probably 110 pounds, soaking wet with a fucking sock full of nickels. So he's a very thin, frail person. And these were two grown men that he was walking up to. So I'm like, fuck, I gotta go get in the middle of this again. So I walk up and I'm like, break it up. That is his wife. You bogus for that, bro. And he was like, nigga, fuck you. I'm like, okay. All right. Somebody's a little drunk. And you just go about your business. And, he just continues to talk shit, throw out insults. And then he starts to threaten me. That's when things get different. You could say whatever the fuck you want to say. Okay? It's a free country. Speak your mind. But the moment you begin threatening, talking about he gonna have niggas come fuck me up, and I'm like, you don't want to do that. He talked about he want to fuck me up. I'm like, you definitely don't want to try that. And I'm like, okay, fine. Throw the first punch, please. Just please throw the first punch. I will fuck you up. And that's when my friend, he's not even angry anymore. He stops being angry. And then he realizes, oh no. Chris is going to fuck this person up. He's like, no, just walk away, dirty. Just walk away. Walk away, dirty. It's not worth it. I'm like, no, throw the first punch, please. Just punch me. Please punch me. And this person threw the slowest, weakest punch I've ever seen in my life. It was some shit straight out of a 1987 action movie. I caught his fist like I was fucking Superman. I've never done that before, and I probably will never do it since. He threw the punch, and I caught his fist, and a smirk came across my face that was like, you really fucked up. And my friend looked at me in a panic, was like, no. And he pushed me away. I'm like, you are getting your life saved right now. And I swear on everything that is holy, I am not exaggerating. I am not. I have witnesses to this story. I don't know if he was just drunk, or I don't know if my reflexes are just that good, but to catch a grown man's fist when they're trying to punch you in the face has to be one of the most rewarding feelings you can ever have in life, ever. Like I could tell motherfuckers, I'm Bruce Willis, bitch. I am Bruce Willis. You do not want to fuck with me, okay? Just don't, bitch. Don't do it. But anyway, I don't miss it though. Those handful of experiences, those were very few and far between. And like I said, most of them ended up with me feeling like a sack of shit, feeling like I look like a sack of shit, and then eating literally a sack of shit and going to bed. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. That's going to be it for me today. Thank you for listening, and hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day. Wherever you are in the world, I love you. Let's make out.